After a world championship, track and field gets pretty quiet. So all we got this week was 2 NCAA records, the absurd effect of Grand Slam's prize pool on pro athletes, and Jamaican kids running out of this world fast. Track never slows down. That is the point of the entire sport. But of course, first we have to address this mythical thumbnail, unbelievably coming from a real race and a world-class one at that.
Athletes were missed the start and had to put in an extra.
Each year out in California, Sound Running hosts a meet called the 10, where a field of some of the world's best will come together to try run under the 10,000 meter world championship qualifying standard of 27 minutes flat. And what might seem like a low stakes meet run at a high school track is actually extremely important. If you don't run the qualifying standard here, you only get another 1, maybe 2 shots on an actual track if you're lucky. Otherwise you're going to have to do it on the road circuit, which ups the difficulty significantly. So with the stakes this high and the race this important, there would be no worse nightmare than doing a stride out a little too late and missing the starting gun entirely.
And we are underway in the Tokyo 10K.
Which unfortunately, but for our viewing pleasure, USA's Magard and Ethiopia's Bekele would live through this nightmare, adding an extra 80 and 100 meters to an already brutal 10K World Champs qualifying attempt. In any distance race, losing contact with the pack makes running that much harder. There's now no one there to break the wind in front of you, essentially doing the same work as the guy up front, with the exception you're in dead last. So the smart move is to push the pace and catch up as quick as you can. And that's Magard's and Bekele's play, making contact with the back of the pack at 1 kilometer. Some damn fine work, but I guarantee it came at a huge energy cost. Yet while Magard is content riding the back, Bekele, who at the start was the furthest runner behind, miraculously keeps moving up on the outside, meaning he's not only ran an extra 100 meters at the start of this race, but he's adding further distance running in lane 2, forcibly going around everybody. And by a little over a quarter through this race, he's already plopped himself back in pace to qualify for the World Championships, represented by the green wave lights, and even then, to possibly win this race. I'm not sure I need to say it, but this is an inhuman feat. This field is no joke. You have NCAA champs, national champs, Olympians, and to really put it into contrast what Bekele has done thus far, Magard, who had the jump on Bekele, is fading hard, and you can't even blame him. This is the normal reaction. And it's at this point the commentators are catching on.
The race started and 2 runners were not on the starting line. They were about 100 meters back. Bekele took about 5 minutes to work himself back up through the pack, and he's now sitting in 5th place. If this man runs sub 27 minutes...
From this point on, the race would change minorly. Graham Blanks, Wildschut and Bekele would lead, switching back and forth, while the leading pack would slowly dissipate, dropping runners. Until 2 laps to go, only 5 men are left standing ahead of the qualifying lights. One of them being the protagonist of this story, Bekele. And around the final bend, everyone would exert their last ounces of energy.
50, and he is hammering here with Samuel.
And Kipkurui takes off, completely opens up, and absolutely dominates this race.
It's almost cruel. In complete contrast to Bekele, Kipkurui, repping the University of New Mexico, who had led none of this race, snatches victory in 26 minutes and 50 seconds. An NCAA record by 2.5 seconds, toppling what Nico Young did the year prior at the exact same race. But more importantly, followed by 4 other men who ran under the qualifying standard as well. 4th place being Ethiopia's Bekele, who until proven otherwise, might have just run the hardest World Championship qualifying time of all time. And then there's the fact this was also a massive 21 second personal best, but mainly because he's only ever run 10Ks on the road. But this race, minus the extra 100, was fast enough to contend at any global championship. Would have he actually been able to run that fast had it been a normal race? Probably not. And while Kipkurui's 10K NCAA record was overshadowed by Bekele, this next one wasn't. Out in North Carolina at your low-key NCAA outdoor season rust breaker, we'd see the outright 1500 meter record fall. At the helm of this would be the University of Virginia's Gary Martin. Since his sub-4 mile in high school, he's been rampaging fast times in the NCAA. And today was no different, forcibly front-running this race beyond the record's pace. Yet with 200 to go, 2 other athletes were still floating just within Martin's range. And they were ready to pounce.
Martin's working hard. And this is Liam Murphy and Marco Langen both passing Martin. Liam Murphy's going to take the win here.
Villanova's Liam Murphy and Marco Langen pass both on the inside and out to shatter the NCAA record. Murphy taking the dub and a record in 3:33 flat. But surprisingly, both Langen and Martin also went under the old record as well. That's a record that managed to stand for 3 years, gone by 3 dudes in one day. Distance running is confirmed to be hitting a new level. I mean really, 2 records falling in the first week of outdoor when athletes aren't even feeling good.
Did a lot of volume this week. I was just telling my coach like 2 minutes prior for the race, my legs were feeling pretty bad, so I didn't really expect much, but...
I'm gonna become a distance running channel at this rate. Yeah, that's not true, because this weekend the very first Grand Slam track is taking place across 3 days. It's being streamed somewhere for each country, maybe even here, and it's going to have the largest prize pool track has ever seen, a possible $100,000 for 2 races work. This is a mouth-watering payout, and clearly the athletes think so too. This weekend we saw Salwa Eid Naser compete in a 400 and 200 meters, practicing her long sprint double a week out from the games. And well, the result speaks for itself.
De la República Dominicana, la ventaja de Salwa para quedarse con esta primera carrera.
48.94 would usually be an unreasonably fast time for this time of year, the fastest we've ever actually seen in March. And that's because athletes have never had a reason to be this fast this early. But clearly, Grand Slam? Money talks. Naser herself has only ever run faster than this twice. That was at the 2019 World Champs, where she won gold, and the Paris Olympics when she won silver. She is legitimately in global championship form for a global championship payout. She also happened to run a 22.45 second personal best in the 200 meter only 45 minutes after that race. But I still can't confidently say she'll win against this field. The closer it gets to Grand Slam track, the more excited I become. We're going to be getting Olympic caliber matchups next weekend and at least 4 times a year from here on. Now it's time for your weekly dose of How Are Them Kids So Fast? This last weekend saw the annual Jamaican High School Champs, a massive event that packs out a 35,000 capacity stadium to watch high school athletics. Will Grand Slam track do that? We'll find out in a few days. In the boys Class 1, 17-year-old Gary Card would decimate the semis, 10.06 seconds. That's an improvement on his 10.07 from last year, again, and a dang semi. So with sub 10 hype building and the finals within the hour, he was ready to dish out pain. But instead got hurt himself. And it's a real shame too, because he was off to a flying start, until about halfway his legs start coming out the back with a hip injury. Still, managed to take the schoolboy title in 10.28. We almost had another legit sub 10 17-year-old on our hands. Then on the girls' side, 18-year-old Sabrina Dockery runs a smooth and calm 11.08 seconds, destroying her heat. Wait, no, that's a final. She demolished her final like this. And she also ran 11.12 in the prelims the day earlier. I think the best part of all of this is, unlike Texas high school times, these were done with legal wins. Now I advise you take a seat before I tell you this. In the Class 3 boys final, we saw 2 13-year-old boys run 10.6. Kai Kelly winning the title in 10.6 flat, followed agonizing close by Finley in 10.67 seconds, both smoking the old age grade 13 world record of 10.82. If you want to ask about wind, it wasn't even 0.1. There's no real reason to even think too hard on this. 13 is legitimately too young to even give an ounce of foresight. But just what a crazy spectacle. And to finish up the week with some other notable mentions, we saw an under 20 world record broken by a Chinese athlete with no footage. But no, it's legit. 16-year-old Zizi Yan added 40 centimeters onto her own under 20 world record from when she was 15. She's going to be rolling the javelin to unknown territories in a few years. And the only reason she wasn't at last year's Olympics was because she was too young. She's got a long career ahead of her. Most of you already know this one, but Gout ran his first race this year against professional senior athletes down under, getting barely beat by the newly appointed gatekeeper of real times, Lachlan Kennedy. But really, super impressed. Kennedy is not a 200 guy. His PR before this was 20.93. That's over 0.6 of a second chopped off, and it's about in line with what most elite 100 guys who don't run the 200 do. Sub 10 is coming soon. 18-year-old Cameron Myers would aggressively beat 3 Olympians in the 1500 out in Melbourne. Like really, front running with a stern look, angrily pressing the pacer to get off the track, and while he was running 3:34, Sam Ruth, New Zealand's prodigy, was in the back running another PB and age grade world record, 3:40 flat. Kid gets better every week. And continuing on trend for Oceanic track and field, the most exciting in the world right now, Eddie Nikisha, repping USC, runs the NCAA lead of 10.01 seconds. For those unaware, that would have been a huge New Zealand record, but the win was 0.1 over the legal limit. And that was the week. Grand Slam is on this weekend, so tune in. Unironically, I might be streaming it. I'm still confirming some details, but somehow might be doing a watch along here. So look out for that.